In this video presentation, we'll look at how to configure the bottom right quadrant, which allows us to query information about a specific computer. So you can see if I query a computer that is online, you can see I just try to query this computer that I could not access. Let's find a computer that I can access. Here we go. Oh, there we go. So you can see that our query is actually working here asynchronously, so it's not interrupting the performance of Maven. We have a number of different Maven controls that we can embed within the bottom right quadrant. So for example, you can see here, this is actually coming from Active Directory, as is the computer object groups. Hotfix is installed and system information is coming from WMI. The mapped drives, if the user was actually logged on, we would see the different map drives available here, which would be coming from the registry. Local groups is actually coming from a local ADSI call, and device drivers is also being driven by WMI. So if you want to configure additional tabs or remove tabs or add additional properties that you want your analyst to see, you simply go into configure, go down to your system information quadrant, and from here we can look at, for example, here's our map drives. You can see that this is a registry query type collection. It's basically showing us all of the properties of this particular registry key. For example, the letter and the path. If we want to add a new tab, let's say we want to show service information, we simply right click, add a tab, and we'll call this services. Press apply. We'll add a control. We are going to specify WMI. Notice you can select ADSI to query Active Directory registry, which will allow you to query any hive of the registry of that particular machine. You could actually do a SQL lookup, which would allow you to query, perhaps you want to query SMS for some inventory information, or you have another database that you want to query to bring back additional information about this computer. You can do that here as well. We're going to select WMI. We're going to select a collection of data. The difference between a collection and an object is when you're working with an object, you have to specify each object from each WMI class that you want to return. If you're working with a collection, you're basically going to pick from existing WMI classes that are on this particular machine. So I'm going to go down to Win32 service, and it's important that you test each one of these queries before you roll out this configuration to your analyst users, because WMI can return a lot of information. It can return information that isn't really helpful, so you want to make sure that you test each and every one of these queries before you roll out your Maven configuration. So I'm going to choose caption, path name, and the status of the service. So I just press OK, and you can see that actually filled in which properties we're going to select. I'm simply going to press OK now, and you can see I've got the services tab. And now if I query my system again, we should now see, yep, we've got services here, all coming from WMI. And of course, we can filter in on our different services. And see the status of each service and which executable is being launched for each service.